What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Krusty Christie. Hope you had a great day. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's Friday. TGIF. Thank God it's. Does anyone else remember? This is years ago, like in the early 90s, on ABC. They had their Friday night lineup, comedy lineup, called TGIF. I think one of them was Boy Meets World, like Family Matters. I don't know. Maybe I'm 44. I'll be 45 in a few months. Anyways, hope everyone's doing good. Still trying to calm down from someone who was elected president a few days ago. But we have to move on, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. If we die, that would be unfortunate. So fortunately, we get to move on. I'm just gonna shut up. In this video, hi, Krusty Christie. I'm Ryan. In this video, we are going to check out 3 unsolved cases from the Pacific Northwest. You know I love my true crime, unsolved cases. I swear I'm not even joking. 4 or 5 years ago, this ain't the joking part, 4 or 5 years ago, one of my friends from high school, last time I had seen him was graduation night, but it's of all of the hundreds of true crime, just anything, unsolved, solved. My friend was found naked next to a pond with his stuff scattered about in different areas in the woods nearby. And the coroner said, death undetermined. And the detectives have closed the case. I'm still gonna get justice for him. He was murdered. It wasn't a robbery. Nothing. He had a $100 bill in his wallet. It was still there. Think of everything, heart attack, anything internal, outside, there's nothing. The coroner said death undetermined. The detectives closed the case, says the case is closed. Detectives, the majority, not all, they're lazy. They're lazy. They're just being lazy. I'm gonna get justice for you, Matt, I swear. Before I die, I just don't know how to go about it. I'm not a family member. Anyways, we're going to check out 3 unsolved cases from the Pacific Northwest. A place where so many people disappeared. You know, you have some people that say, "Oh, it's Sasquatch. Oh, it's Sasquatch." I believe in almost everything. Things that you probably never even heard of. There's proof. So many people. I don't think Sasquatch is real. I don't think he exists. There would be evidence. There would be Sasquatch bones found somewhere. 8-foot hairy man. There's no bones ever found. A huge head. Just huge legs, fibula, tibia, arm, nothing. Let's get to this and do what I do when it comes to unsolved cases. Try, how you like to play armchair detective. I'm not one of those people that's like, "Oh, I know for sure," There's a lot where it's like, everything points to the boyfriend. What? So, let's go. First one, the disappearance of Joe Pickler.
In the quiet town of Bremerton, Washington, nestled in the misty embrace of the Pacific Northwest, an unsettling mystery continues to haunt the community. It's a place known for its naval shipyards and picturesque views, but for the Pickler family, Bremerton is a town shrouded in heartache and unanswered questions.
Just a kid.
In January 2006, the life of a young, promising actor took a tragic turn, and his story has since become one of the most baffling unsolved cases in the region. What happened to Joe Pickler? Today, we delve into his life, his mysterious disappearance, and the questions that still linger. Joseph David Wolfgang Pickler was born on February 14, 1987 in Bremerton, Washington. From a young age, Joe stood out. His bright smile and charismatic presence quickly caught the attention of talent scouts. By the age of 6, Joe was already in front of the camera, appearing in a commercial for a Seattle department store. Joe's family moved to Los Angeles to support his budding career. Hollywood embraced him. He landed roles in several television shows and movies, including an appearance in the popular TV series Touched by an Angel, as well as the films Music from Another Room and Varsity Blue.
That kid that he took a picture with, that was the kid, that's the guy from Breaking Bad. The one who had the uncle and all his biker friends. And he did whatever his uncle said.
However, Joe is perhaps best known for his role in the 3rd and 4th installment of the Beethoven movies, family comedies featuring the lovable Saint Bernard. Despite his early success, Joe remained grounded. He carefully chose his roles, avoiding parts that didn't align with his values. In 2002, after nearly a decade in Hollywood, Joe returned to Bremerton at his family's urging. His mother, Kathy, wanted him to experience a more normal teenage life, away from the pressures of Hollywood. Back in Bremerton, Joe attended Bremerton High School, graduating in 2005. He settled into life in his hometown, working as a telephone technician and living independently. Despite the shift from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood to the quiet streets of Bremerton, Joe never lost his passion for acting, and in fact, he planned to return to Los Angeles to revive his career once his braces were removed. Joe's life in Bremerton seemed ordinary. He played Magic the Gathering, loved Mexican food, and took care of his pet guinea pig. His friends and family described him as a kind and ambitious young man with dreams that extended far beyond his small town.
What's your job? What do you do?
I'm a software engineer.
How much do you earn as a software engineer?
Like 160?
Is that your...
On the night of January 5th, 2006, Joe spent time with his friends playing cards and drinking. He made his last known phone call at around 4:08 a.m., speaking to a friend he'd seen earlier that evening. According to his friend, Joe seemed, quote, inconsolable during their conversation, a stark contrast to the good spirits he'd displayed earlier. 4 days later, on January 9th, Joe's silver 2005 Toyota Corolla was discovered abandoned at the intersection of Wheaton Way and Sheridan Road, near the Port Madison Narrows. Inside the car, police found a note. It contained 2 pages of poetry and a message about wanting to be a, quote, stronger brother, and asking that his belongings be given to his younger sibling. Joe's family did not believe the note indicated suicide. They pointed out that there was no direct mention of ending his life, and the lack of a goodbye seemed out of character. Moreover, they noted that Joe had left the door to his apartment unlocked and
If it was suicide, then there would be a body there. Do you park it next to a bridge? Didn't say that.
lights on, which was unusual for him.
His apartment door
The
was open.
Bremerton Police Department initially considered the possibility of suicide, suggesting that Joe might have jumped into the nearby waterway. Lead detective Robbie Davis mentioned the likelihood of suicide, but also stated that they were considering other scenarios. Despite extensive searches, no trace of Joe was ever found. Joe's family vehemently believed that foul play was involved. They criticized the police investigation, claiming that essential procedures were neglected. Kathy Pickler, Joe's mother, expressed her frustrations with how the case was handled, noting that crucial evidence might have been lost due to the initial response by the authorities. The disappearance of Joe Pickler garnered national attention. Shows like Inside Edition and Entertainment Tonight covered his story, but no new leads emerged. Detective Davis continued to monitor Joe's bank accounts, driver's license, social security records.
Now, that phone call after, what was it, 4:08 a.m., after he left his friends, and he was, like, inconsolable, which means he was, like, crying and upset. But he was fine at the party or get together with his friends where they were playing Magic and drinking. What made him so upset? But what I want to know is, did it say, I can't remember, did it say that a friend called him, or that Joe called a friend? I'm just saying, did a phone call actually happen at 4:08 a.m.? If it did, then that corroborates their story, or that friend's story.
At 4:08 a.m., speaking to his small town. On the night of January 5th, 2006, Joe spent time with his friends playing cards and drinking. He made his last known phone call at around 4:08 a.m., speaking to a friend he'd seen earlier that evening. According to his friend, Joe
made the phone call. Just a second. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the Krusty Christie. So it was Joe that made the phone call. Okay. So you made the phone call, 4:08 a.m. in the morning. You seemed fine at the party after you left. Who knows how many minutes later he was unconsolable. Now if you're about to kill yourself, are you gonna be like unconsolable? Call someone, you're unconsolable, crying and just but the thing is, I just want to make sure that, because if the friend said I called him at 4:08, that phone call didn't happen, then we got a whole different set of problems. Yeah, we checked phone records, and it doesn't show Joe receiving a call from anyone. We checked your phone records, which is something detectives do. So that's a lie, which means that there's a chance that Joe never left here or that party. Alright, let's go.
Expressed her frustrations with how the case was handled, noting that crucial evidence might have been lost due to the initial response by the authorities. The disappearance of Joe Pickler garnered national attention. Shows like Inside Edition and Entertainment Tonight covered his story, but no new leads emerged. Detective Davis continued to monitor Joe's bank accounts, driver's license, social security records, and even his MySpace page, but nothing indicated that Joe was still alive.
Years ago.
Janet Bates, a volunteer and advocate for missing persons, took a particular interest in Joe's case. She dedicated herself to keeping the search for Joe alive, coordinating with national media and organizations. Joe's family also became actively involved with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, working to raise awareness about missing persons and to educate communities on how to respond when someone goes missing. The Pickler family's ordeal echoed another tragic case in Bremerton that happened many years before. The disappearance of Francis Frank Martin Cantia, who'd been missing since 1975. The similarities between the two cases highlighted the enduring pain and uncertainty faced by families of missing persons. Frank's mother, Anna Cantia, clung to hope for decades, just as the Pickler family does now. As the years have passed, the questions surrounding Joe Pickler's disappearance remain unanswered. His family continues to search for him, holding on to hope and seeking closure. What happened to Joe Pickler on that cold January night in 2006? Did he tragically end his own life, or was he a victim of foul play? The truth remains elusive, buried in the shadows of Bremerton. In the end, Joe Pickler's story is a poignant reminder of the mysteries that can lie hidden within the most ordinary lives.
That's it. That's it. I mean, he could have committed suicide. He could have parked his car where he did, left that 2-page suicide note and walked, and jumped into the water. I don't know. There's a river, a deep river. I think he committed suicide. That's just my take. And I'm not like a detective where it's like, oh, this is a suicide. Oh, this is a suicide. There's so many cases where detectives. There was one case where a woman, like in her 20s, mid-20s, was found in her apartment, stabbed like 5 times in the chest and like 3 in the back, and the knife, a bloody knife, was in the kitchen sink. And at first, the detective said, it's a suicide. This is a suicide. Yeah. A suicide. She was like a tiny, attractive, petite woman. It's not like a monster man. Even if it was like a strong guy, he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to do it the most painful way possible, in the most difficult way. Oh, I got to go and put the bloody knife in the sink. There we go. Anyways, they reopened the case, and it turned out to be the jealous ex-boyfriend, I believe. Detectives throw around suicide so many times, but when it happens, and this is another true case, one of their own, who they knew, she was a police officer, was found in her house, hanging, or she had dropped to the ground, but with a, as if she took her own life. And the police officers and the detectives said, no, this isn't a suicide. No, this is a murder. She would never kill herself. She was so happy. This is not a suicide. This is a murder. When it's obvious cases, or close to 100%, like a murder, you're like, oh, this is a suicide. But you go based off a hunch, even though it looks like a suicide, just because she was one of your own. She was a fellow police officer. And by the way, it turned out to be that she was murdered. So they were right. But still, it's just like when people report someone missing. You gotta wait 24 hours before you can report someone missing. If you ever report someone missing, tell them that they love school, they don't hang out with any bad influencers or anything like that, because they always ask, say it's a teenager, say it's a 16 or 17-year-old. Do they do any drugs, or have they in the past? I need to get some water, but have they run away before? Did you get into an argument? If you say yes to any of those, if you say yes to any of those, they're going to throw it right back at you and say, oh, they're out with their friends and they're probably doing drugs, or they probably ran away and they'll come back in a few hours. Or if you ever, and if they're an adult, if they're over 18 or older, they'll say, well, they are an adult, they can do whatever they want. Even if you say, this is unlike her, this is unlike him, he would never do that. He would never just take off without telling anyone. Police officers are so lazy. They don't deserve the money they get. They deserve half of the money they get. There's so much blood on police officers' hands. They need to get rid of the stupid 24-hour rule. When someone's reported missing, do your effing job. Get in your car, go out there, and look for her. Or look for him. Got it? And I hope at least one dumb police officer, because almost all of them are racist and dumb. Get in your damn car, do your job, alright? Actually earn your pay. Okay? You work for us. And if it was up to us, 70% of you would lose your jobs. Anyways, can't believe the video is almost 29 minutes. So if you ever, I hope you never have to, if you ever have to report someone missing, if they say anything about running away, being angry, doing drugs in the past, say no, just lie. Say never, even if they have. Even if they have. Unless you don't care and you're like, you know what, we'll be honest with them and they'll tell us we have to wait 24 hours. And then we'll call, and if she returns, she returns. If she doesn't, she doesn't. And they can go look for her or look for him, in 24 hours. If it's an adult, 20s, 30s, they're adults. They can do whatever they want. It's always like, maybe they decided to take a vacation and, go somewhere, There's nothing we can do. Who knows the person you're reporting more? You and your family and friends, or the friends of the person you're reporting missing, or police officers who have never met said missing person being reported? Who knows them better? I know for a fact like my close family, if one of them went missing, I would know for a fact. They wouldn't just leave abruptly. If I went missing, oh my God, I never leave this spot. I'm here unless I have to go to a doctor appointment, which is like once every 6-7 months. And that's the truth, sadly, because I have no life, I have no friends, I have no income. But yeah, lie to the police. If you're going to report someone missing, lie to them whenever they ask you stuff like if you're reporting a kid missing. Did you get in an argument? Do you guys argue often? Do they do any drugs? Do they drink? Do they hang around with bad influences? Lie. Lie through your teeth if you want the police's help finding your missing daughter, son, grandchild, whatever, niece, nephew. Lie through your teeth. Police officers are so lazy. It would be like reporting that your house is on fire. Going to a fire station is saying that your house is on fire, and the firefighters saying, "Are you sure? I mean, are you positive it's on fire? No, just give it a couple hours. I'm sure it'll just go away." Something like that. Like firefighters saying that. Oh, just give it a few hours. It'll go out on its own. You know what the difference is between firefighters and police officers? Firefighters are underpaid. Police officers are overpaid. And firefighters will be there whenever you need them. They'll be there for you whenever you need their help. Police officers are just like standing around at the station, just in their vehicles. How many times have you seen just police officers inside their vehicles and, seeing people, waiting for them to speed, just eating something, drinking something? Just a bunch of lazy sons of... Don't forget racists. 70 to 80% police officers are racist. And or corrupt. Anyways, this video didn't go as planned. I planned on reviewing 3 unsolved disappearances on the Pacific Northwest. But that one that we did go over, but why did he said in a 2-page letter, "Give all my stuff to my little brother." He left the party, was fine. He calls his friend at 4:08 in the morning. He was just inconsolable. Maybe because he knew what he was he was about to do. Well, he had to. He had a 2-page letter that, if it was from him, I mean, yeah, I think he committed suicide. He parked his car and he walked however far it was to the river and jumped in. Anyways, I'm gonna end it there. I love talking to you guys. I want to do a live chat. I just don't know how many people attend. I don't want to be one of those people that do a live chat and it's just like 1 or 2 people watching. It's basically like a group chat. Which I've never done. I've never done a group chat, but I want to know how many people would be up to it. I want to answer questions. I want to get to know my subscribers, talk about stuff, talk about whatever, anything. I'm down. I'm down. I want to slay. I'm hip. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah. We would slay it. LMAO. Anyways, like always and forever, take care, be safe, peace from the Krusty Christie.